がもんじゃないぜ right now 歓喜は待つかざした my hands 感傷 baby be survivor
Konnichiwa bitches, PM Prime here, doing another episode of Anthony's Anime here, exclusively on the Gods of Anime channel on YouTube, and we're doing another review, this time of a 7-episode OVA that started in 2010, just ended now, hour long each. That is Mobile Suit Gundam Unicorn. Like I said, I've been waiting 4 years for this. I didn't watch anything of it, anything, during these 4 years. Because, if you know Gundam, that shit gets complicated. And you gotta watch it back to back to back to somewhat understand what's going on. Because if there's a lapse of a few months or whatever, guaranteed you will forget something. Or most of it. So, I waited until all of it was available. Was it worth the wait? Yes and no. And I will tell you why. Let's start with a story. It is set in the Universal Century timeline. It is after Mobile Suit Gundam, the original, Zeta Gundam, Double Zeta Gundam, Stardust Memory, War in a Pocket, 8th MS Team, and Char's Counterattack. But before F91 and Victory Gundam. So it's an in-between quill. It's not a prequel, it's not a sequel. In-between quill. So, right off the bat, there's a kind of a problem here, because the story hinges on whether there's going to be peace or whether there's going to be war. So right away you know there was no peace. And right away you know that the war really didn't pick up again until after, many years after. So the importance of this anime gets diminished. But you don't feel that as you're watching it. So it's only afterwards you start thinking about that. So let's start with the story here. We have our main character, Manager Lynx. He's in school, typical teenager in these Gundam shows, and he gets dropped in a situation where he doesn't belong. And he gets introduced to the Gundam Unicorn. Of course he pilots it, of course he knows how, and blah 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 blah. Typical Gundam stuff. But there's a sort of, he has a connection to this, which I'm not going to say what the connection is. So it's not totally out of left field, it's not totally random, it's not destined to happen or anything like that, it's not accidental or anything like that either. So it's kind of different, but kind of the same at the same time. So that's what happens in the first episode. So what's really happening throughout the entire series is that the Earth Federation and Neo Zeon forces are in a skirmish for something called the Lapless Box. Now, it's not a physical box that you open, but it is a sort of Pandora's box. So if this is metaphorically opened, it has the potential to bring peace to the Universal Century between the colonies and the Federation, Earth, or start a whole new war worse than the 1-year war. Depending on whose side, whose hands it gets into. And the Unicorn Gundam is the key to this box. Now, what makes the Unicorn Gundam the key, what makes it special, is that it has a transforming mode. It opens up, it expands, and there's red shit here. That red shit all over is the Psycho frame. If you watched previous Gundams, you know that the Psycho frame, the Psycho Gundams, they're special because they amplify new types' abilities. A new type can essentially, just like a psychic, it could see things faster, it can empathize with other people, it could interact with the Gundam faster. So this is integrated throughout the entire Gundam. And Banagher is not a very good pilot, but this compensates for him. So that's the basic story. It goes between viewpoints from the Earth and the Neo Zeon. You see good and bad characters on both sides. You see their viewpoints. You know, and then you have this third faction here that's a splinter group of the Neo Zeons that is supposedly has this ghost of Char, the second coming of Char. Is he really Char or is he not? That's a mystery that gets told throughout the whole series as well. That doesn't get revealed to the end. Lots of things don't get revealed to the end. What the Lapos box really is, what's the purpose of the Gundam Unicorn, if this is really Char or not, what happened at the end of Char's counterattack. Did Char and Amuro Ray really die? Are they still alive? Did they survive? And shit like that. Things like that. It's an undercurrent, but it doesn't get answered till the end. And depending on your point of view, those answers can be either good or bad. So, whatever. Now let's talk about the characters. Like I said, you got the Ghost of Char. Is he really Char? Is he a clone? Is he just a dude that looks like Char, wears a mask, you know, stuff like that. You got the psycho bitch. She's not really a psycho bitch, but she can be a psycho bitch if you push her a little bit, you know what I mean? She switches sides here and there. You got Banagher links. You got the dude on the Neo Zeon side. You got the dude that was on the Federation side that goes a bit nuts. You know, things like that. You know, regular Gundam characters, how things happen. But there's one character in particular I want to talk about that really brought down this anime for me. And that is the main character, Banagher Links. Now, of almost all the Gundam pilots, he's the one I can't stand the least. I cannot handle him. Banagher Links makes my list for the biggest pussies in anime. Maybe I should make a separate video for that list, but I'm going to tell you who's on the list right now. You got Shinji Ikari from Evangelion. You got Basara from Macross 7. You got Shin from Gundam Seed Destiny. And now you got Banagher Links from Gundam Unicorn. 4. What company that he's keeping right now? 4 of the biggest pussies in anime ever. My God. And I will tell you why. Because he cries like a fucking bitch. Now, in the beginning you expect that, you know, shit happens, he's not used to the situation, he doesn't want to kill anybody, but you nut up. You man up. Kira was like that at the beginning. That motherfucker turned into Space Jesus or Space God, with his just destroying everything in sight with millions of lasers coming out of his Gundam. Nobody could touch him, nothing. But Banagher Links, he starts off like a bitch, he stays like a bitch. He is the true Space Jesus. And it just ruins the show. Ruins it. Not only does he cry constantly, not only because he's a new type, not only is he in that Gundam thing, which amplifies that new type ability, the empathy with other people, he's, oh, when somebody dies, he grabs his heart like he's having a fucking heart attack. This is Sanford and Son, his friend Sanford here. Oh, Elizabeth, this is the big one. I'm coming to join you, honey. Always does that shit. Dude, man, stop being over dramatic. Like, Gundam is over dramatic already, but this fucking guy, man, that fucking drama queen. Shut the fuck up and get, like, even during battles, it's not really battles. Like, in the beginning, you think he's gonna be badass because this Gundam is really cool, but he's not really doing it. It's kind of taking over his actions because he has a certain mindset during that time. So whatever he did in the beginning episodes, that's not necessarily what happens. Because when he has full control over the Unicorn Gundam, the Psycho Frame system, he turns into fucking Space Jesus. When there's a big fight, battle happening, lots of destruction, with that like giant mech, there's a huge laser coming up. He doesn't fight it. No, he has to talk to the pilot. He has to talk her down. Try to get her to stop. And it's to the point where it's stupidity. Because this bitch is crazy. She's trying to destroy shit for vengeance and shit like that. He knows he can't reach her. She's gonna destroy the rest of the city, kill that guy, Badger Lynx and his buddy, and he's still trying to fucking talk to her and shit until somebody else does what needs to be done. And then he cries, why'd you have to kill her? And that's how, like, the show continues on for that. He doesn't want to fight, he doesn't want to kill anybody, he just wants to talk it out. My God, use the Gundam to send the feel-good waves out to all people. Oh, cheeseburgers and loneliness are a dangerous mix. My goodness, just brings this whole fucking this had the potential to be fucking badass, and it's just gay, so gay. It's so fruity, man. Cancels each other out. This is what I meant earlier. It just cancels itself out. Now, let's talk about the animation. The animation is gorgeous, it's beautiful, it's crisp, it's clean, it's detailed. The battles are spectacular. The Gundam itself, it's cool. A little plain, but it's cool. I was kind of worried that they were going to use the 3D CGI stuff a little too much, because anime productions, they're a little too obvious with those things, where it's herky-jerky, doesn't fit, it looks totally different from how it looks when it's hand-drawn. But this, they matched it up properly. It's done well. I have no beefs with that. Animation is great. The sound, the voice acting, the music is great, except when the motherfucker's crying. Yeah, that's basically it. In terms of what's happening with it locally, I don't know. Bandai, they suck. They only released 3 volumes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe 5 episodes were released here. And instead of waiting for them to release it or try to import it or something like that, I streamed it on Kiss Anime. That's really the only option that you have right now, unless they do finish it one of these days. Somebody does something with Gundam here. I don't understand how an icon of anime in Japan has no place in the North American marketplace. I have no clue how that happens. No clue. But that's beside the point. In terms of replayability, rewatchability, I don't know. I really don't think I will watch this over again. 8th MS Team I can watch multiple times. Char's Counterattack I can watch multiple times. Endless Waltz I can watch multiple times. I think that's just the way Gundam is. Like, if you're not into what they're selling you in terms of story or characters, you get turned off real fast because they like to hammer their shit home. So it's really difficult to say if I'm ever going to watch this again. Probably not. The battles are good. I'll probably just fast forward, something like that. Now, if I could, my recommendation, if you haven't watched Gundam before, this might entice you to watch some of the past stuff, the other stuff in the Universal Century, but also might turn you off. So it could go either way. I don't even know. But if you are a Gundam fan, if you've watched the Universal Century timeline, or if you've watched the other stuff like After War, Gundam X, Gundam Wing, G Gundam, other stuff like that, if you want something different, if you just love Gundam in general, definitely watch it, but beware. Beware the whiny bitch that is Banninger Lynx. Like I said, Gundam Unicorn, half badass, and it's half gay. There's no other way I could put it. And that's all I got to say about that.